Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Circling the Rabbit Hole podcast with me, Dr. Claire Kinuthia. This week, we're doing something a little bit different, and it makes me nervous as hell, but here we are. So today on set, it's just me, and the primary reason for that is you can see I'm in bright yellow today. We have just gone through the month of March, which has been Endometriosis Awareness Month. And the primary color since, I think, the 80s has been yellow. And as a doctor who looks after lots of women who have endometriosis, as well as a patient myself, I thought it important for us to still have a few episodes that cover this disease, because that's what it is. It's a chronic condition affecting 1 in 10 women worldwide, meaning it's very, very common at this point. And yet, as with a lot of things in women's health, it's one of those that is not yet fully understood or well researched. We're doing more now, we're learning more now, and we have better options in terms of management, but there's still a lot to be done. So my guest today wasn't able to make it because she is an endo warrior herself. And as the disease goes, you have your flare-ups, and sometimes it just takes you out and you're not able to carry on with your day as planned. So what that has now done is forced me to have a candid conversation. The crew and the team here know that they jinxed me. And that's how we've ended up here. But I think the more I've hosted this podcast, the easier it has been to just continue to hold space for open and honest conversations, especially to do with sexual reproductive health and related mental health issues. It's a lot of them being taboo issues are just not things we talk about openly enough or comfortably enough, including things like chronic illnesses like endometriosis, which affect women, especially it's pain related, usually very severe pain around the time of your period. For some, it's extensive and it continues. It actually over time gets worse. Depending on where the implants, the lining of the uterus has migrated to in the body, you have symptoms related. And we know quite a few women who have been vocal about what they've gone through with the condition. But I don't want to go into too much detail because I think we'll still have full episodes covering this. I'll have women who have had the diagnosis and are living with it, as well as experts who are looking after these women, such as myself, and looking forward to giving you that unique perspective where I sit between being a patient as well as being a healthcare provider for this condition. So that being said, we've also just, as we come towards the end of March, we have been focused on women, International Women's Day, and celebrating women throughout the month. And some of the issues in many episodes to come will be around what it's like to be a woman in Kenya today. I feel like I'll speak for myself, and maybe it'll be a voice for many out there, where you sort of start to feel like we are in a space that's a bit confusing, because it sort of feels like everybody has become the enemy of women. And on top of everything else that we struggle with and we balance and we fight for, it's a challenging time, but I'm always leaning on hope, because the more we talk about these things and the more vocal we've become, the more aware people are that the things affecting women affect the community in general. And by empowering women, we'll start to see an empowerment of everybody in society. So I'm just taking this moment to say Happy International Women's Day, Happy International Women's Month, and let's please continue to celebrate women throughout. Let it not just be a 1-month thing, and let's keep empowering each other. So that's the end of that monologue. So what we decided to do that's unique this week is a bit of a Q&A. You guys have been sending in so much feedback, so many questions, giving us your opinions and your comments based off of the episodes we've had so far. So we're going to include you in this episode very directly. I have the lovely Amanda here on set with me to ask some of the questions you've sent in, and I'll do my best to answer them. Today it's me who's on the hot seat.
So Daktari, how did you figure out that you wanted to do obs-gyn for your MEd?
So OBSGYN is obstetrics and gynecology, which is women's health, reproductive health, sexual health. But again, as always, it tends to be tied into everybody's health. How did I decide? I think I made that decision during my internship when I first rotated in labor ward and the gynae unit, and being present to receive babies. There's nothing like it. Anyone who's done gynae, anyone who's a gynecologist or working as an obstetrician will tell you, helping a family bring life into the world, happy medicine. So it was an easy sell for me from there. But then also wanting to make a difference for women, because we still have so many hurdles to get through, and just being able to champion from a point of being proactive serves for me the purpose.
Okay. So far, have you interviewed anyone on circling the rabbit hole that you absolutely disagreed with and had to axe?
Thankfully, no, I haven't disagreed with any of my guests, but would I axe that episode if we disagreed? I think people should be allowed their opinion, even when it's different from mine. Depending on the delivery, I think you can be respectful, even when you disagree on specific, especially hot topics or controversial topics like what we discuss on the podcast. So I'd be keen to see, as we continue on, I'm sure that challenge will come up, but I don't know that I'd kick you offset. Maybe you storm offset. But I think there's always room for healthy disagreement or differing of opinions.
Would you recommend an egg freezing facility in Kenya, and what will be your basis?
We have lots of options now of very good facilities available. What I'd say, of course, recommendation, I can't recommend generally, but a review with your gynae initially, and depending on the underlying health condition or the reasons why you need to freeze eggs, can help us direct you to the right facilities. But if you're looking for something, then what you need to know is keep in mind, basically assess the facility for their competence. So licensing, regulation, that they follow what the set regulations are. Look into look into cost, because that will also play a big role. Some places will be more expensive than others. Look into what they're using in terms of technologies, as well as the duration you're intending to freeze for, because all those factors come into play. But the main thing to remember is, even as we are moving towards freezing eggs, it tends to be that embryos survive better than eggs. And that's neither here nor there if you don't have a partner, but if you're making the decision, I think the younger you are, the better. Then we have a better chance of harvesting more eggs and having more to work with as we come to the thawing process. But this is a conversation to have with your gynae specifically. Yeah. But that's my, the things I'd say look for. And once you are happy with the facility and you're comfortable with the provider that you're speaking to, discuss the costs and discuss the duration you want to freeze them for.
Okay. What will you tell a 22-year-old girl?
Oh, okay. 22-year-old girl. Gosh, can I remember being 22? I'd say maybe calm down and be still. Today's world and access to social media sort of makes you feel like you need to be doing more and achieving more and earning more than is actually possible given the age. So take time to find actual real life mentors, and focusing on school as well, because by 22 you're probably still in school, and focusing on building the best foundation for a career at that time. There's time for everything. You will get to the soft life, it'll happen. And just as a career woman myself, there's nothing better than your own money, where you don't have to beg and you don't have to lean on anyone in any significant way for your decision making. So if at 22, I'd say you should be focusing on getting to a point where you can manage to make your own. And even if you're not pursuing a tertiary education, if you're looking for skill building, you should be focusing on finding mentors, surrounding yourself with the right people in terms of guidance, just generally in life as well as in career. And if you can't travel, there's a lot to see outside of just the country, or even within, because Kenya is stunning. But travel a lot, meet new people, engage in different ideas so that you can expand the horizons of your imagination. And then finally, have fun. You're 22, have fun.
Okay. Do you sometimes feel like you have to explain yourself, not conform to the societal expectation?
At my big age, no. Younger, probably, because when you're young, you're still trying to discover yourself. You're still very influenced by people around you and the opinions of others. The liberation that comes with your late 30s, early 40s is amazing, because in as much as it's not that we don't care what people say, or you don't believe that people have an opinion, or they're, you keep yourself open to opinions, but it shouldn't really affect you. By this point in time, I'm pretty solid in who I am as a person, including faults and weaknesses. And so it's very hard to find a space where I'm influenced negatively, or negative opinions affect me as much as they did when I was younger. So maybe be kind to yourself up until that point. Focus on becoming self-aware. Focus on things that matter to you. Prioritize those. If there are differing opinions, as long as you're firm on what you stand on, you should be fine.
Okay. So this is not a question, but a comment. You inspire me. Sending love from Rwanda.
Oh, yay. Rwanda is in the house. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. I have just started med, and I came across your page, and I would love to hear any tips you have.
For medical training, especially in Kenya today, I think you have to really, really be focused on your studies. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of uncertainty with the way the industry or the sector is being handled. But I think if you're true to yourself and you're training in medicine for the right reasons, which primarily is to help look after others, then make that your priority and leave us to figure out the system. By the time you're coming out, if you've just started medical training, by the time you're coming out, hopefully we will have secured a better future for you. But for now, focus on your studies. In undergrad, I'd say keep an open mind in terms of specialty. There's time and you'll be able to figure it out along the way, but mostly you just need to keep your head down and pass those exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
After how long should I do my third C-section?
Depending on the reasons, but by the time you're getting to your third one, the minimum we want you to space after C-section before getting pregnant would be a full year, so that you heal fully from the C-section. And usually the healing we're talking about is not necessarily the skin, we're talking about the scar on the uterus. So we want you to give the uterine incision a full year to heal fully, become strong again enough to carry the next pregnancy.
Okay. Another comment, you are amazing.
Oh, thank you. I can get used to these.
Not a question, but inspired by you in many ways.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, another question. Have you had a challenge with mental health? How did you get a balance? And congrats on the growth.
Thank you very much. Mental health is, I think everybody faces challenges, myself included. From way back when I started medical training all the way through now, and especially working in the field that I work in, you tend to take on a lot from patients. How do I manage it? I'm a big proponent of therapy. I think everybody should be in therapy at some point and regularly enough. Just talking about it as well, building a community of like-minded people around you. We are human, and community is so important to us. So I think if you're able to just wrap yourself around, surround yourself with the right people, and if you have issues, if there's things you're finding challenging, talk about it. Don't keep it to yourself, because that's one of the biggest ways that we suffer. Yeah, I think that's what I would go with.
Okay. Are you taking any supplements for skin or anything?
Not unless prescribed by my doctor. Supplements are something that should be augmenting or adding to a healthy diet. So I think if you're focusing on great nutrition and an active lifestyle, and we have tested and you're actually deficient in certain things, then you can have it prescribed. For women's health, generally, we tend to advise supplements maybe 3 months of the year, just to boost what you're taking in dietary, but that should be under prescription. So it's not one size fits all.
Okay. Another comment. You never cease to amaze me. Much love from Ethiopia.
Oh, yay! Keep those coming. It's been amazing to see just how many countries are tuning into the podcast. So thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate and enjoy watching, seeing your feedback and hearing from you guys. And the fact that we are now international is fabulous. So thank you for the love. We will keep it going.
Like you said, keep them coming. So another comment again. I will not ask. I will state my truth. You are an amazingly beautiful person in and out.
Guys, this is how you get a big head. Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm a medical student. How should I go about creating content about med school in Kenya?
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. I usually start with the positives before we do the management. For any content creator out there, I'd just say start. That's just start. You'll learn along the way. You'll meet people, you'll meet the right people along the way. Just get started and make your mistakes and learn from them, and you get better with time. But that being said, I don't know that med school allows for the time that you would require to create content consistently. I think focus and priority should be on training, because it's pretty much all consuming, and that's the reality we have with medical training anywhere in the world. So it might be challenging to try and find a balance between the two, but again, you know your situation, but as long as you're making sure you're not prioritizing anything above focus on training.
First, I admire your professionalism.
Thank you very much.
Number 2, tupe tips your soft face na lips for those with dark ones.
Soft face na lips.
Yeah.
For dark. Black is beautiful. Embrace your melanin, please. Melanin queens, embrace your melanin. But when it comes to like soft, healthy skin, always good diet, good nutrition, as well as being active, having an active lifestyle. It works. It only works from inside out. And hydrate. Maji kwa wingi.
Okay. So that's the questions for today.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Yay. I survived, guys. So this was a little bit of a different episode. I'll check with my crew to see if anyone else has a question for me before I wrap. Yes, please. Okay.
If you are not doing what you're doing, what else? What would Dr. be? Who would Dr. Claire be?
Oh my gosh.
And the second one is, are there any exciting plans for CTRH?
The second one is easier to answer than the first. Exciting plans, yes. We are hoping that we can take this to different counties in the country. I'd really like to hear women's stories outside of the big city life. So look out for those. Hopefully I can get everybody travel ready. Crew. Do you guys feel like going to Mombasa?
Yes!
Right now. So yeah, no, we want to expand horizons a bit further and listen to more women's stories, more people's stories outside of, the big city life. So yes, that should be exciting.
Who would Dr. Claire be if?
What would I be if I wasn't a medical doctor? I'd be a tattoo artist, a DJ, a bartender on a beach. I would be a full-on creative. I am very artistic. I play the piano. I draw like the things I suppressed in order to survive med school. I would indulge in those. Right. So I think we'll wrap it there. Thank you so much yet again for joining us for this episode. It's a completely different take on what we've been doing previously. So please leave comments, send those DMs, send those emails, and let's see if it's something we can work in where you want to listen to me give you monologues. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.